Hey everybody, John O'Hara. Hope you're having a great week. If you are here looking for ways to improve, providing every option, every family, every time, you have come to the right place, my friends. This is on the heels of the announcement for the End the Summer Grand Incentive that we have for all of our valued partners here in the state of Michigan. And what's really cool about this opportunity is everybody's got a shot, not just high producers. So we wanted to make sure to include everybody. So if you are here to learn more about this opportunity to provide more options to families to fund with your funeral home, you have absolutely come to the right place and you absolutely have a shot. So a brief overview of, again, the contest. We have a $3,800 package available to Mackinac as first prize, or a $2,500 cash value. Second prize, $1,000 cash. Third, $500. So 3 prizes up for this incentive. The thresholds, dates of the contest will be February 1st through July 31st. So we will be measuring those thresholds, which you must maintain a 25% multi-pay threshold with a monthly production volume of 30,000 or a 6-month contest length of $180,000 in whole. The key piece really being that 25% multi-pay and the 30K average per month. The winner will be selected based on the highest increase in their multi-pay percentage. And the persistency rate of this business does need to remain at 85% during the time of the contest. So that is the overview of the contest, and we'll jump right in to maybe rethinking your thoughts on multi-pay. All right, everybody, as promised, let's jump right in to go over some of the main bullet points of the reasons that are beneficial for you to start maybe considering, and then of course how those reflect back onto the families that we're serving in terms of offering every option, every family, every time. Benefit number 1, premiums have decreased in the state of Michigan. This is really good news. Many of you have been forced to present payment options that have quite honestly been unaffordable and very expensive. The good news with the passage of SB 268, we have a whole new product lines offered right to all of you and to all of the families you serve. With those new products come altered and for the better premiums for families that are paying over time. So if you haven't, I encourage you to go on your calculator, run the premiums, and I guarantee you're going to see a difference in the cost of insurance versus what it was last year. So good news, cost has gone down for families, and in some cases dramatically. So those that were concerned about what the family would pay over time may want to take another look, because it's become much more affordable in our current state of Michigan. All right, guys, number 2, budget, right? Things have changed quite a bit in our society. One of those things being people operate their budgets much differently than our dads, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers, and just like everything else, things change. So when people go out and purchase things, they are often presented with options, and that's from going to Home Depot all the way to purchasing a home and everything in between, like a vehicle. And quite honestly, to maintain connection with our consumers or with the families we're serving, offering them every option every time will allow them to know that you're in touch with everybody's budget in the community. And providing options will resonate with all the other experiences that they have out in the community, which puts you in line with all of the other reputable businesses within your service area. So meeting the customer where they're at from a budget perspective is hugely important now. And what we've often found is people want options, and and it's maybe time that we start giving them in full in the time that we spend with them. So meet them where they're at with their budget, and oftentimes that will carry over to allowing them to commit to you because of you meeting their budget. Think about it. All right, guys, number 3, we're talking about options within the options. By presenting 3, 5, 7, and 10-year plans, a lot of us think that the 3, 5, 7, and 10 are monthly payments only. Those can be broken out into quarterly, biannually, and even annually. With some carriers, they provide a savings for the annual payment of one premium a month. We also have a lot of agents that are successful with presenting payment options in conjunction with a down payment. So for instance, if it's a $5,000 funeral and saying, look, you can put half down, $2,500, or what you can afford, and that will ultimately lower their payment each month, and it'll also lower the cost of insurance over the time. Lastly, the 6-month same as cash is an opportunity to get families started. It will ultimately become a single pay, but it does present itself to be a easier option that day for a premium payment, and knowing that a lot of times folks have to move some money around, that they have some time to do that. And while making payments, they're essentially taking advantage of the insurance for free. So the 6-month same as cash opportunity is there. It does work to have them have a much easier decision that day or on the second appointment, as opposed to a single payment, which is sometimes a tough decision for folks. So think about the options within the options. Folks, number 4, we are talking about being the expert. Be the local expert. And all of you are, but maybe there's an opportunity to take your expertise to the next level because of maybe some of those points we pointed out in the previous sections. Look, these community members of yours are going to State Farm, they're going to Farm Bureau, they're going to Allstate, and they're asking the questions about insurance. And most people that are asking questions about insurance are paying overtime for that benefit. And I can't tell you how many families I've met with in the past and current agents are meeting with that will say that I've gotten things taken care of with my State Farm agent, and I bought a $10,000 policy. Well, many of you know, most of you know, and all of you know that sometimes the plan that the person needs may not be a $10,000 policy. It may need to be only a $5,000 policy. And if that's specifically assigned for their death, I think we can all agree that we are experts far above and beyond the State Farm agent in terms of what transpires at the time of death and what is best suited for those families in terms of a product to be in to pay for that service that all of you are providing. So, and they are not the expert, you are. And not to mention those traditional life insurance policies, which a lot of us have, myself included. You have to keep making those premiums till you die, right? In a lot of them. With our options, right, the 3, 5, 7, and 10-year plans, all of them have an end. Where traditional insurance, you keep paying until you die. Just something to think about as you are the expert in so many ways when it comes to your community and how you serve them from a funeral director capacity. It is an opportunity for you to think about being the expert on products provided for families that are specifically designed to take care of them in the death care process. Think about it. All right, everybody, number 5. Let's talk about just the basic benefits of insurance, right? I mean, when we talk to people and we explain the benefits of paying overtime, one of those things should something happen to them, God forbid, if they answer no on the health questions, they are immediately covered, right? 100% of their death benefit. So make 2 payments. As long as you haven't been treated for one of the conditions that we all know about on the enrollment sheet in the last 2 to 5 years, depending on product, that funeral is 100% paid for, right? Even if they answer yes, the graded death benefits, people are amazed of what's covered should something happen to them. And their family members often that are with them are astonished that the benefits that come along with paying ahead. So sometimes it's our own bias of what we feel people are willing to pay for. And I know a lot of people that are willing to pay for the protection of insurance. And I guess it's even hit home for me. My dad passed away in 2020, and he was actually on a 10-year plan. And my dad was okay with the plan. He was okay with the cost of insurance. And we were grateful for when my dad died, the monies that were available, which was 100% death benefit 5 years into his plan. My brothers and sisters and all of us were protected, and my dad didn't have the money for a full service funeral that he wanted and we wanted. So from a personal side of things, we can talk about this professionally, but I've experienced this in my own family where my dad was challenged in some capacity with monies. So this was an affordable way for him to make sure that we were protected, and he was 100% okay for the increased cost for that protection. Think about it. All right, guys, number 6, volume increase. No doubt, if you present every family, every option, every time, your volume at your funeral home will increase. There are plenty of families, and I've been guilty of this. Top agents have been guilty of this, is, families walk out and we don't see them again. And we try to call them and they never get back with us. So we all have those families, and they will we'll continue to have those families that we work with. However, I encourage you to present the options, because I firmly believe and know, because of the data, that when those are presented, every option, every time, those families will stick around and they'll look at you as the expert and they will commit to you, which will increase your volume in 2024. And don't forget, the increase in volume will put you closer to that Mackinac trip. Think about it. All right, guys, we're getting there. Number 7, they've committed to you, right? So if we present the options, every family, every time, you're going to get, with the volume increase, more commitments. And believe it or not, that shows compassion. It shows relatability. And we're educating the people of our communities on all the options that are available in our buildings, right? And one of those things that I attribute it to is, if the family chooses cremation, we typically don't stop and explain just one option. We are doing our best in funeral service and doing better at explaining all the options that go along with cremation. And they are evolving daily, right? Daily, that the offerings that are now being showcased to families, even in the news, right? So sometimes we're playing catch up on what people are seeing out there ahead of maybe some of the suppliers. So keep in mind that they've committed to you when they've been presented these options, and believe it or not, it shows compassion and relatability, and people will appreciate the education even if they don't choose the payment options. Think about it. All right, everybody, probably the biggest one. This is number 8. And I will say this is probably the most important, if it's not the biggest. All of you are fantastic at what you do. You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't fantastic at what you already do, but we always have opportunity for growth. And sometimes I say here internally, we have to get out of our own way, and removing our bias is a big part of this process. So for years past, this has been an expensive venture for people to pay over time. We've been trained to believe that people paying for insurance coverage is not a great option, which quite honestly couldn't be farther from the truth. It is an option. Many people view it in our community, our communities, as maybe the only option, right? We talked about budget, and providing them options will allow them to commit to you, which will increase volume, which will increase satisfaction for everybody involved. But you have to remove the bias. And again, remember cremation? We, in funeral service as a whole, resisted cremation for years. And now discounters and families seeking alternative options have popped up everywhere, and we're fighting the good fight, and we're winning in some cases and maybe losing in others. But it's an opportunity for us not to resist on something like this, like we did on cremation. And because I promise you, if they are interested in pre-planning and we don't present the options, they will find it somewhere. It may be your State Farm agent, it may be their financial advisor, but this is a way for you to express your cultural authority and the expertise that you have in death care. But they will seek out an alternative or a solution if we do not present these options. And it may just be your competitor. Think about it. All right, everybody, that is it. Pretty painless, right? Thank you so much for taking time to walk through the opportunities that you have in front of you. We are super excited about this incentive. It is going to be fun to watch all of you continue to succeed. Again, maybe change some behavior, remove some biases, and experience some success, both by meeting new families where they're at and seeing success on your end by planning more of those families. Just a couple reminders, resources for you. We have designed for each and every one of you a front and back sheet that walks through every option, walks through the benefits of the emotional side of things, the legal, the financial, and then giving them a little bit deeper dive on the financial, but giving them yourself a reminder each appointment, notes. We have also included some language that I've learned, which is there for you and them to read. You're welcome to pay for this today. If you wish to wait, your next appointment is. So let's schedule the next appointment while we're in front of that family, so it's a reminder for you. And one of the cool things I love is on the back, this is the reason for the second appointment should it need to after presenting all the options. And I promise you, by giving them a visual to take home or in front of them, you will see an increase in first-time appointment fundings. On the back, again, if they do go home, they are reminded that they need to get this back to the funeral home. And we've all been called at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Is always in the morning. And family says, Mom has everything taken care of with you. She came down a couple years ago, and we all remember seeing Mrs. Smith, but we're pretty sure she didn't fund. And lo and behold, she made arrangements, pre-arranged only, but didn't fund it, right? And sometimes we feel like we're starting on the heels with the family because they think that we got paid and we're not telling them. So on the bottom here is a non-funded arrangements. If they decide not to fund their arrangements, we want record of that. But it's also a good opportunity of why you need to get back together with them in 2 weeks. Cannot wait to see again the success that comes out of this incentive. And as always, we have one-on-one training should you need it, and we're always just a phone call away. I can always be reached at 586-636-6611. Have yourself a great week, and again, thanks for all you do, and as always, thanks for showing up.